Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Clean Hamster Podcast. This is episode 155 of the Clean Hamster Podcast. Peep the shirt. That's all I'm going to say about it. I just took a little trip to New York by myself for 4 days, and I had a really good time, and I just wanted to do it. You know what I mean? I'm back. Home. Hi. Are we sweet? God, I really like that city. I've always wanted to go by myself because every time I've been, it's with friends or with, my mom or something. Like, I've never been able to do that. I've never by myself, I'm not kidding, I've never by myself, honestly, booked a hotel room and got airplane tickets on my own from my phone. And I was I was stoked. I was just like, oh, this is going to be awesome. So I got a shitty little fucking Times Square hotel room on booking.com, and it was, I don't know, I had a great time. I just ate chopped cheese and a bunch of Italian combo sandwiches from every single bodega that I walked into, and it was absolutely wonderful. And I saw a Knicks game. I fucking hung out, and it was just fucking awesome, man. Super cool. I like that place. My kind of people live there, but I feel like if I lived there, it would lose its novelty. So I'd like visiting. I like being I like being a tourist there. It's just a lot of fun. I averaged, 35,000 steps a day when I was there. I'm looking trim-y-dim-dim. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking trim. I got to fart. Do you guys want to hear it? Oh, stinky dinky. You know what I'm saying? That's going to reek. Okay. Holy fuck. I was walking in the airport by myself, having a good old time. I was not wearing this shirt there, but it was in my luggage. That would have been awkward if they were like, "Is this your shirt?" I would have been like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, you went to the memorial, huh?" And I went, "Yeah, man." Here's the thing. Okay, you know what? Let's talk about the shirt because I love it. It's now one of my favorite shirts ever. Never forget. Always remember. And also, here's the thing. I went to the memorial because you guys listen to this podcast, right? Yeah, I went to the 9/11 memorial. Of course I did. To pay my respects, but also to be like, fucking whoa. You know what I mean? There were 2 towers here, and there is no longer 2 towers there. It's mind-boggling. I don't know. You guys know how I feel about the subject. I'm not pro-tragedy. I'm not pro-death. I'm not a pro at all. Quite an amateur. But I'm just saying it's a riveting subject. That's all. It's a riveting subject. And it's such a strange thing to be like looking at the reflecting pools and the memorial and looking up and feeling and just like feeling it. And then slightly looking to my right and seeing more or less a merch table, a little concession stand / merch table. And I was like, I gotta buy one of those shirts. Well, it's official. I'm buying one of those shirts this instant. And I did. And I actually found out that all the money goes towards the museum. Like, that's, they're constantly adding things to that. So that felt good, but still, like, I moved my brain into this area where I was like, I'm buying this shirt, I don't know, 20% ironically, but that's bought. I was like, and also, was I walking up to the merch stand like grinning a tiny bit because of excitement? Yes. And did I shut it down immediately? Yes. Like, I was like, hi. And I realized, I was like, oh my God, I shouldn't be. The fuck am I doing? Put it away, Dean. So I bought this shirt because. Wait, you're not going to buy this? Are you kidding me? I'm buying 9/11 merch. Fucking wow. Okay. anytime, I don't know. It'd be really funny if this is the one video podcast that I do that just does numbers. Like, this is the one that's just like, I don't know, the algorithm picked it up and suddenly you have 200K views. I'd be like, oh no, please watch other episodes. Anywho, it was great. Anyway, I was walking in the airport and I saw a guy who like hurt his leg, and he didn't seem like an athlete, and he didn't seem like he had like a cast on his leg that went up to his knee, and he had crutches. So I was just like, I don't know, it just got me thinking about every time that, you know me, I always go back to the roots. So I think about how I went to school, in elementary school and high school with people, suddenly one day one of your friends shows up and like has an injury, like they got hurt on the weekend doing something, playing with their friends, playing a sport, fucking doing whatever, I don't know. And I never, I understand injuries. I get accidents happen. But let me take you back to the first time I ever knew someone who like got an injury and had to go to the hospital. It was Jacob Sharp in 2020. He got cancer, and I was like, what's wrong? Take an Advil. No, I'm kidding. He's good though. So I was 7 years old, and I lived on 17 Los Alamos Drive, Richmond Hill, Ontario, 905-508-7651. Oh my God, it's all good. Don't remember the postal code, zip code, but that's where we were. It was a brown house on the corner of a street in a newly developed area that my parents bought a house in this was 2001. Oh my God. Sorry. Wait a second. Oh my God. Holy shit. Okay, so there was this kid who lived across the street from me. Oh my God, I'm going to say his fucking name. Brandon Silver. Okay? One of the most interesting families I've ever witnessed. They were wild. Okay? I recently got more backstory on them because my dad provided me some info. Because when you're a kid, you just know another kid. Like, he was my age, and I saw him playing at like near his house, and I was like, you know what I mean? You just walked across the street, suddenly friends. That's how it goes. I also remember his dad was also named Mark, and he also kind of had a Jewy little mullet. So yeah, they were a Carr family. I'm using my memory to the best of its abilities right now, and it never fails me because I have a great memory. I'm like a fucking elephant. And here's my trunk. Okay, anyway, sorry. So, and here's my trunk, though. So, this family, when I met them, I was 6 or 7 years old. They had a son who was my age. He had a little baby daughter who was, I think, 3 or 4. Her name was Miranda. I remember. Holy shit. Now, I hope they're all doing well. But here's the thing. Their family was fucking weird. Another Jewish family, pretty standard in Richmond Hill, Ontario. Their house was one of those homes that was like, it was a 3-car garage. There's certain houses in this development that were like, they're big houses, but a lot of them were like, okay, this house comes with 3 garage doors to open up your big garage. Now, there was a car in every single one of these garages, right? An old, like 80s muscle car. And then on the driveway in front of each garage door, 3 more muscle cars. And then on the end of the driveway, like that part of the driveway before that splits the sidewalk and the rest of the driveway, on that part, the family car that they drove was parked diagonally in that big place to not block the sidewalk. Car here, sidewalk right here, car, inside this garage, car. And then in the backyard, he had 2 other beaters that he would work on. This guy loved, he had fucking 8 cars, and 2 of them ran, and the other ones were just they were weird, late 70s, early 80s Camaros, and or one, he had 1 Corvette. I don't know why the fuck he had so many cars, but he also had 2 kids, a super angry wife. And my dad provided me with some interesting info. he told me, he's like, do you know why the Silver family had like all those fucking cars, like all those goddamn cars? And I was like, no, I actually thought his dad was just like cool. And he's like, no, apparently that one, like the father of this family, like was left some inheritance money at a point in his life, and he went nuts on cars, and that's why. He just whatever. He got a bunch of money one day because unfortunately one of his parents passed away or whatever, and then he got all these fucking 80s Camaros and never drove them, and they just sat there, and it was weird. And their house was very messy, but they always had awesome snacks. I went over there a lot. He was like my summertime friend. We didn't go to the same school, but he was like my summertime buddy, and we would play a lot. And so, yeah, his family just had a ton of cars. My dad also told me that one time he saw like the wife of the family walking to the bus stop to go to work, and my dad was driving to work, and he was like, well, yo, what are you doing? Like, doesn't your family have 8 cars? And she was like, yeah, but like 2 of them work, and like what's his name as the other one, and like, and my dad was like, I'll drive you to work. And my dad just drove this woman. Like, my dad's a good guy. He was just like, that's fucking weird. It's snowing. Get in the car. I'll drive you to work, whatever. And my dad drove her to her job. So fucking awesome. So, there was one day when I knocked on his door to play, and also play dates when you're a kid. Like when you wake up, you're just up. You don't know about like the etiquette of like timing. So you're just like I would go knock on this kid's door to play with him at like 8:20 a.m. Right, and I'm positive his parents hated that. But like a famous term in my house at this time was like, if Dean's bored, like if I'm like, I'm bored, whatever, my dad would be like, go knock on Brandon's door. Like that was the thing he would say a lot to me, and I would. And I'm sure I bothered his family quite a bit, but whatever. I was a fucking child, so it doesn't matter. There was one time he opened the door. I like have a clear vision of this in my head. He opened the door and he had a big cast on his right leg, from ankle to fucking mid thigh, and he was like, hey man, come on in. And I was like, what happened? And I remember he was telling me what happened to his leg. He was like, I have stitches in my knee. I went to the store and I got like me and my sister were playing on the carts, and then I slipped and I just couldn't follow. And I was like, okay, can you play? Like I literally remember being like, I was 7. I actually remember being like, okay, yeah, can you play though? Can we go? Like, are you gonna like, or are you in here forever now? Does that leg work? I could not wrap my little kid brain around the fact that like another child my age could possibly be out of commission. Do you know what I'm saying? I was blown away. I was like, but how'd you do? Like, I actually remember thinking, you gotta be more careful. That's so dumb. Like, you're irresponsible. I wanted to play, and you got injured. Like, you had to, like, he said the word hospital, and I was like, I was there when I was born, and now never again will I go. Like, I didn't think, is anyone else with me on this fucking mindset? For real? I was like, dude, what? Take it off. Like, you must be fine. And he was like, it's itchy under there. And I was like, they first of all, they make casts that small. They shouldn't, because kids, honestly, like, I don't know. I wrote this down in my notes. I was dumbfounded. I was like, you should be ashamed of yourself for being a fun little 7-year-old boy in the summertime and like cutting your fucking knee open and getting stitches like at the store, I guess is what he said it happened. But I for real was like, no man, that's fucked. Like you gotta get your act together. I was like mad at him, and also mad because I didn't understand anything, because I was like, dude, wait, you can't play today? But it's like the sun is out and we're children, and like, you know, juice boxes and freezies and TV and snacks and basketball. and soccer and water guns, and you are in a cast? Like, it just, I still can't. I actually still remember being like a bit gaslighty and just being like, you're fine. What the fuck? Take it off. Take it off. I bet it's fine. I bet it's nothing. I bet your parents and the hospital overreacted. I could not believe a 7-year-old boy was like, I had to go to the hospital? Like, for what? To get reborn? Were you getting put back in your mom? Come outside and play with me. Anyway, he's fine. But, like, he was fine. I don't know. It took, like, 3-4 days for the stitches to heal. But it was just, like, I was fucking mad. I literally remember going home and being like, what a fucking pussy. Like, what? What a fucking pussy. Be careful, dude. I never broke a bone in my life. Knock on... Is there wood here? Yeah, knock on wood. It's just like... Look before you... Or, you know, check the thing before... Like, be fucking careful. And it wasn't even playing a sport either. Lame. Just a regular thing you were doing. And you're like, I broke something. That's lame as fuck. I know a guy who fucking tore his meniscus while he was in a fist fight, drunk. He like lost his footing and like buckled his knee, and he was like, I tore my meniscus. And I was like, basketball players do that, man. And you did it while like losing a fist fight. It was pretty funny. But yeah, I didn't understand it. And then I don't know. He just had. Yeah, that was an interesting family. His parents fought a lot with me in the house, like hanging out with their son. They yelled at each other. One time I heard the mom, the bus stop lady, one time I heard the mom say, I'm going to put a knife through your heart to the husband. I remember that clear as day. We were downstairs playing, like on the main floor, and they were upstairs, like I guess like in their bedroom, yelling at each other with the door closed. And I heard, you're going to get a knife through your heart. And we're just like tots downstairs being like, beep, beep. Playing with trucks and shit, right? You're going to get a knife through your heart. And then he went, oh, what you with the drama? Or whatever the fuck he said. I don't know. Something Jewish. What is it with you and the drama? You're going to... Man, I'll never... This fucking woman. Gloria. That was her name, obviously. Real glorious. You're going to get the... Dude, I was... 7 years old, and I heard a woman go, you're gonna get a knife through your heart, you bastard, or whatever. Oh my god. And I love imagining, I don't know if I did this, but I wish I was playing, and then I went like this. Well, I think it's about time I hit the old dusty trail. A murder's gonna take place. God, oh my gosh, it was just... Whoa, that doesn't happen in my house. I'm going to go over there. Well, I guess 2 couples on this court are getting divorced. Divorce court, but it's on like it's a cul-de-sac. Any hooser, fuck, man. I just love thinking about what the fuck has happened around me. You know what I mean? It's wild. I was talking to a friend the other day about my first job, and I think I've talked about this on here. My first job was at a butcher shop called Cumbres, and it's a very high-end butcher shop. It's got a bunch of flank steaks and a bunch of ready-made potato salad and mac and cheese and bullshit. And I stole the fucking 4-cheese mac and cheese every goddamn day, because it would come in one of those plastic things. You just take the thing off and you can oven it right away. Like, it was tight. It was so goddamn good. The breadcrumbs were absolutely cash. So I got this job when I was in the 10th grade, I think. The 10th or the 9th. The 10th. Doesn't matter. I was 15 years old. So Jake, my brother, already worked there. He worked the front. He worked the nice deli part, which you see when you walk in. Like the nice, like, hi, what can I fucking get for you? Do you want a fucking sample? He wouldn't swear at them, but that's pretty much the gist of... That was the pitch. So anyway, that's what he did. He did that, and because my brother's a very handsome guy. He has straight white fucking braceless teeth, right? going hello, and just a people-pleasing good guy, right? And he helped me get a job there. It was my first job. I got paid in cash under the table because I was a kid, and they were like, whatever, we'll see. And every business is shitty. So yeah, I worked at a butcher shop. I was the dish bitch. To my eyes, I was referred to as that. They also called me Dean Bag, which I thought was super funny. So these dudes, let me break down something for everyone right now. Butchers are the biggest pieces of shit on the face of this earth. Do you understand? Butchers. They are fucking sleazeballs, okay? There you go. They're fucked. So they're all okay. Let me and if you don't believe me, I worked with a guy named Brandon who had he had a Toyota Tundra truck lifted like 25 inches for zero reason. He spoke like this. He was just he was like, I am, man, I'm absolutely gonna get fucking toasted later, and I'm gonna try to get some pussy. Like, he was a piece of shit. He never took his hat off. So he probably jerked off with a hat on. He was a weirdo. And there was another guy who worked in the back with me named Stretch. Now, his name's Kevin, but his nickname was Stretch. And you knew it was a sex thing. He was a dirtball. And then there was another Australian guy named Dean. And one time he was holding a meat tenderizer. Like, he brought it to the back, this little dish pit corner where I just looked at white walls. And I was losing my mind. I would just be spraying bins and shit. Like, you know, that would mix ground beef in. And sometimes the meat water, I'd catch a corner of the bin and the fucking meat water hit me in the eye. And I was like, I'm gonna buy a gun! And so one time, the Australian guy, his name was Dean too, he came back and he was holding a meat tenderizer. And he was like, you know what this is for? It's for slapping bitches. And I was like, okay, man. And then he dropped it and I sprayed it and cleaned it. And that was, I don't know, at like 11 a.m. on a Saturday. So these guys were pretty top notch. All right, so there was also a guy. Okay, there was a guy named Scott who like this little area where I was. Behind me, there was like the meat grinder and the vacuum seal machine, which you seal the like you put a bunch of fucking lean ground beef in a bag and you takes all the air out of it. The vac seal thing. That's where this guy Scott was. He was behind me. I liked Scott. He was cool. He smoked a lot of weed. Him and I would talk about basketball, and he was just, I don't know, he was nice to me. Like, he was always just like, Diener, what's going on? Do you see fucking you see that Blake Griffin dunk last night? And I'd be like, yeah, man, it's fucking awesome, dude. He's so sick. And we would talk a lot about basketball. So, he was a nice guy. I feel like he felt bad for me because everyone was a fucking cock. But he was cool. One day, Scott, shout out to Scott, man. I miss this guy. He was fucking nice. He was the only dude there besides my brother who I literally would feel comfortable talking to. One day Scott was behind me and he had a bunch of like ground beef to mix in these big bins, which then he would pass to me to be cleaned out. Anywho, he at midday he comes back to me and like he just goes, Dean, and I'm like, what's up? And I fully turned around at this point, and he was like, you want to hear the craziest thing? And I was like, what? And he was like, I started this shift with a Band-Aid on my thumb. Now it's gone. And I've been mixing a lot of ground beef and selling it. Guess someone's going to eat my Band-Aid. And then he went back to work. Scott! Hey! Use gloves, man! Someone ate your Band-Aid, you fucking sleazeball! Someone is going to make burger. And that's not a thing that gets, that's not like how some people are like, it's just a hair, whatever. That's a phone call and a business being shut down thing. Do you understand? But I respected him for it because I hated the place. I was like, fuck it. Some bitch can eat this Band-Aid. I don't care. And he didn't tell anyone else, and he was like, that stays between you and me, okay? And then he worked there for another, 9 years. It was pretty funny. But still, no one ever called in. No one ever went, I ate someone's Band-Aid. I was making lean turkey burgers in the backyard, and I noticed. No. Someone ate his Band-Aid and never, I don't know. And he got off scot-free. Until now. Get him. Get him. Anywho, I liked Scott. I thought that was funny, but that's fucking gross. And I actually could not believe that, like, because I saw him again a while, like, after I got, I guess I shouldn't skip this part of the story. I got fired after 7 months because I didn't clean a bin very well and cross-contamination and blah, 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 even though people are out there eating their fucking Band-Aids. I got fired. And I don't know if anyone knows what it's like to get fired for the first time. It sucks, but it's an incredibly freeing feeling of like, oh, my night's free now. Like, it's, even though I was 15 or 16 years old, I was for real like, oh, I'm calling Marshall, my friend. Oh, I won't be here till 10 anymore. It's only 3. Got the whole day ahead of me. Sure, I have to go tell my dad, and that'll be embarrassing and suck, and he'll make a big stink about it, even though I'm a child. There's a roof over my head, a bed in my bedroom, and he's been taking care of me since I was a baby. It's all good. It's not like I need this shit job, but the experience to help you get the fucking eat my cum. How's that sound? It does not matter. Fucking get the experience, but also get fired, because that's experience too. Getting fired is experience. Don't listen to everything I'm saying, but like, oh, too bad I couldn't make it as a dishwasher at the butcher shop. Fuck, did I let this family down? No. As you should get fired for being a dishwasher at the butcher shop. The butcher shop. Butchers, man. They're fucked. They're the biggest pieces of crap. Working with meat. Oh, you got fired? What are we going to do with you, pal? Nothing. I'll get another job because that was easy. Come on. I'm counting my blessings here. I live in a fucking first world country. I'm a kid who you could yell at and tell to do dumb bullshit for like not that much money. You could trick me, take advantage of me. I'm quite naive. I'm a stupid teenager. I'll get another job. Trust me. God, getting fired from that, like, I remember in my head, like, what, because it's a very cinematic moment in your brain where it's like, buddy, like, he literally was like, Dean, come here, and I was like, what, Brandon? And then he was just like, look at all this fucking extra meat, man. You gotta keep fucking doing, man. You gotta get the fuck out of here, man. You're fired, man. This is the last time I'm letting you fucking get away with this shit. And I was like, okay. And I didn't even for a second like try to reason or be like, yo, come on, like I was like, I was literally said. Now? He went, yeah, now, go! And I was like, because, like, there was still a ton of work to be done. And I was like, awesome. Like, for real, I was like, awesome. I'm going to go home. I'm going to go home now and call my friend. It's a Saturday. But also, it was a Saturday. My dad and my stepmom were on the couch watching fucking sports or some shit. So I got home, and he was like, you're home early? And I was like, got fired. And he was like, for what? And I was like, I didn't clean a bin very well. It's pretty embarrassing. And he was like, well, print some more resumes and fucking go back at it again tomorrow. And I was like, perfect. My dad was in a good mood that day. But yeah, I was, and then I was like, boys, just got fucking canned from Cumbres. Let's get absolutely after it tonight because I'm in 10th grade and I need about 4 Molson Canadian cold shots to feel something. So let's go. But on Adderall all week. I need a vacay. You know what I'm saying? Lost my job. And here's the other thing. For future Dean, my dad would take 50% of every single paycheck that I got from any job that I worked in high school. And now I'm happy about it because I don't have any student debt. But at the time, I would have rather been woken up with a punch directly to the eye every single morning of my life than that. Because at what point, what are you working for? That's the thing, too. It really fucked with my mindset. And I think that's why I was so content with getting fired is that I was like, whatever. I have to give away all this fucking money anyway because my dad's like, I'm putting it away for school. Your education's important. It's for school. You don't want student debt when you're in your 40s, do you? I don't know. I'm 15. That's like a million years from now. If it means that I could have a ton of my own cash for this weekend to buy snacks and like a shirt from Boathouse and like some beers to go to a cool fucking party for, yes, then I will trade that to get, I will be in debt forever if I could have fun this weekend. Because remember how long days were when you were a teenager? How fucking long they are? And your dad's like, give me half the paycheck, I'll put it aside for your school. And yeah, I'm thankful for it now. But also, I'm thankful for it now because I didn't use OSAP and shit like that. But like, oh my fucking God, man. It did not help my mindset going into any job that I got in high school. So I was like, I'm just going to have to give half this fucking shit away to my stupid fucking dad anyway. Why try here? And so that's why I got fired a lot. But I've learned since it's really fun to work for your own money. And you got to work hard for your own money. But like, God, when you got to fucking give half of it away and you're a teenager, no shit, people are like, you don't seem to be trying your best here. Yeah, I'm not. I don't have to pay rent. I'm a teenager. I'm a teenager on summer break. I fucking hate that. I fucking hate when people come down on fucking, like, his work ethics. He's a fucking teenager. His mind's everywhere. He's exploding constantly. She's fucking freaking out about what, like, God, it's tough, all right? It's annoying. And everything's happening for the first time. So give him a minute, will ya? Sorry they didn't come out of the womb being like, I'm ready to solder something and I'm going to be a blacksmith. Like, eat 1,000 loads of shit. Every single, and even like the teenagers that were like working at McDonald's and working at fucking Starbucks, like just all of them. Cutting corners. Like everyone was. Who isn't? Anyway, I got fired from that job, and I just had a good afternoon after that. I was like, good. Like being there made me nothing made me want to KMS more than fucking being there and working and stuff. And also it was really funny to be like, Jake, I'll see you later. And he was like, all right, bye, to my own brother after I got fired. It was hilarious. Oh my God, wait, one last story. Remember that guy Stretch that I mentioned earlier? I did one time, like, oh my God. After a shift was done, I was like, hey, it was like a Friday, and I was like, hey man, can you, if I give you cash, could you like buy me some beers? And he was like, sure man, yeah. And we went in his car, and we went to the beer store, and I gave him some cash, and I was like 4, I don't know, 8 Molson Canadian cold shots. And he was I think he was like 25 at the time. This motherfucker, like, if anyone's listening to this and has been approached by like a younger person to buy them alcohol, never do this. Don't be this piece of shit. He literally went, all right, but I'm going to have to tax you. And he would take one beer, and he took one beer. He did this 3 times to me because he was my go-to. He was my plug for a couple times. He would take a beer or 2, depending on the amount that. But I'm taking one. One? Cool, man. Wow, nothing better than having a beer. That's awesome. And one of the times, he drove me home afterwards. I used to just walk, but he was like, no, I'll drive you home. I'm going that way anyway. And I was like, all right. He popped one. He popped a beer while fucking driving a car with me in the passenger seat and kept it in the cup holder. He was like, he literally, oh my God. He literally said, he's like, if you're going to drink and drive, have one and make sure you're wearing your seatbelt. That's what he fucking said to me. I don't know. I don't know if that guy's alive anymore. Like, he was a wild. Yeah, if you're like a cool older brother, like a cool whatever, uncle, dad, whatever, don't be like, don't fuck with teenagers who are trying to party. Just don't. Don't be like, I'm going to take one though. I remember that. Fucking eat shit, okay? And fuck you. And never forget 9/11. I love you guys. That's the end of episode 155. That was fun. I'm going to keep trying to remember shit from that job because holy fuck, it was fun. Anyway, yeah, go to Cumbres and get the 4 cheese mac and cheese, but don't really get anything else because butchers suck. All right? Love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. There's still Dean Core merch available on my website, obviously. The Shed shirt and everything like that. And I'll see you guys in Australia. Love you. Bye.